And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
Hello, Big Josh Thompson. How you doing?
That's what she said. Yeah.
Oh, now you just blew it. All right, welcome to everyone. This is the Weighing In Podcast with my man, Big Josh Thompson.
Yes.
There in San Jose, California, talking all the snap that will come out of that crazy mind of his today. But we do have a UFC with one of the nicest guys ever, Wonderboy Stephen Thompson, taking on the guy they call the Mouth and Kevin Holland. It actually should be a very good show. They got a lot of really good fights. We're going to talk about those coming up and a bunch of other things that are happening in the world of MMA and combat sports. So, my man, how is it now that you are big?
You know, I don't know. I haven't had a chance to enjoy the moment. So I'm going to actually see if it carries over to the next show. I'm going to show my big ass around the house. I'm going to show my big ass around here. The only part I'm excited about being big is when I get on that plane. That's it. I know because you live that big lifestyle. So you talk to me all the time about how being big on the plane
There is nothing
horrible.
good about being big on planes. The smaller you are on a plane, the better it is.
Well, John, that's why
You want to be Hezbollah on a plane because every seat's first class.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we fly. What I don't know. What is it? It's not economy. It's the next two up, business or first class.
Economy plus.
I've done economy plus. I love economy plus. I'm not against it. People want to rag it in. All they want to do is talk about business and first class. No, economy plus doesn't get the respect it deserves. It deserves put some respect on the economy plus name. That's what we got to do. Put some respect on it.
Okay.
But before we put some respect on that economy plus name, let's put some respect on the WeighingInPodcast.com merch. The merch is available. We got new gear, new clothes. Look, John.
WeighingInMerch.com.
It is the WeighingInMerch.com.
Oh, my bad. WeighingInMerch.com.
It's okay. It's all right. I was going to correct you. Don't worry about it. We didn't need Dave to pop in there.
Yeah. The less we hear Dave's
Boy,
Scottish accent.
He just anything he can do to start talking.
I know. He just loves that microphone. He loves it. But look, John and I had talked for the longest time. Podcast Dave had us, working with these sites, for t-shirts and stuff. And we just we love good shirts, good quality shirts.
That's it.
So we decided to join with one of the best guys out there that actually can help build this company in terms of our brand and our logos and our designs and all those things. And so we decided to start WeighingInMerch.com. And now we've got good hoodies. We've got different designs, different logos. We've got the way it's printed. It's not layered on there, so it doesn't feel hot like you've got a magnet stuck to your chest when it's hot and sweaty. So those are all things that are very important to us. Plus, we got different types of poly cotton as well as like tri-blend type shirts that are just a better fit, more of a slimmer fit for most of you guys that are fit like myself, not like John. Okay, and then they also have the bigger, bulky ones like the heavy fit, the heavy rise, like for Podcast Dave, because he's getting a little thick these days in the winter body. And we offer it all. And there's lots more options now. What we didn't have before, because we couldn't get, was the hats. Well, guess what we have now? We got hats. We got hats. We're going to have a lot more. We just got to actually pick out some more stuff to actually put up on there. We got plenty of options now in designs, clothes, hoodies, sweat. I don't even know what else. We got it all though. So we'll have a lot more coming in. So check it all out. Great gifts for Christmas. Check it all out. I want to thank you guys so much for supporting us. But John, let's talk about this pay-per-view, or not pay-per-view. Sorry, let's talk about this UFC that's coming up this weekend.
Well, I do want to talk about that, but first I want to talk to you. Hey, look, do you ever get frustrated when you try to watch a sporting event and you go to it and it doesn't come out in the country that you're at, so you actually can't see it? But you know what? I know how you now do it. I have this because I use NordVPN. And it teaches me how I can pick out my sporting events and get them on my TV set so I can watch what I want to watch instead of being canceled out. I hate being canceled. Now I'm not canceled out. With NordVPN, you can switch your virtual location to any country, Josh, any country that is showing the event that you want to see so you don't miss out on it.
Yeah, what happens, though, is when you watch those sporting events from other countries, though, people get concerned about the cybercrime and then potentially stealing their information and being able to get into their bank accounts or get into their computer and just start messing around with things. Everyone's concerned about that. With NordVPN, keeps your information encrypted so you never have to worry about your IP or location getting out. The last thing you want is for your kids or your wife or someone close to you to be out there and their location to be out and someone can follow them, whatever it is, mug them, take their stuff, hit them at the ATM. All of those things are available, but NordVPN will help stop that. They also are a threat to protection that gets rid of intrusive websites and malware. And if you download an affected file, threat protection kicks in and deletes it before it makes a mess of your computer. Those are all things that are very important for you and I.
It is. And look, for everyone out there, this is for the price of a cup of coffee every month. If you click on the link that we are going to show you, you can get an exclusive NordVPN deal of 4 months for free. Nothing. That's pretty good. It's completely risk-free. You can just do it. You want to cancel it, you can cancel it. And it has a 30-day money-back guarantee. So please go check it out. Like I did, you're going to be happy. Let's talk about the UFC and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson taking on Kevin Holland. Both these guys are coming off of a loss, but I love this fight. I think it's a fantastic fight. I love what both guys bring, and they bring about a difference in this. And so, what is it that you see out of this fight that interests you?
Well, if I can get Dave to pull up that fight card, I would really love to talk about this fight. But let's go right to Kevin Holland and Stephen Thompson. Look, I'm going to be honest. I really believe the speed of Kevin Holland will be a big factor. The reach and the range, which Stephen Thompson's kind of always had a little bit of the length advantage over a lot of the fighters that he's fought. He's had a little bit of the speed advantage. I wouldn't say over the top in the speed advantage, but the way he fights, his style of that taekwondo or karate style of kickboxing, it poses a lot of threats for people because he knows how to use his speed to get in and get out before you can counter. Well, with Kevin Holland, he's longer. He's going to be the faster fighter. He's going to be a little bit more explosive. Stephen is 38 now, I believe, 37 or 38 years old. That will play a factor in this fight. Now, the other thing, will Kevin Holland try to get this fight to the ground and get to the top position to slow Stephen down? I don't think he will. I think he's going to keep this fight on the feet, and he's going to try to get in there and mix it up, and he's going to really try to put it on Stephen Thompson and show that his reach, his speed, his explosiveness, all of those things, that he can exploit Stephen Thompson.
Boy, I'll tell you what, if he tries to do that, he is in for a horrible night. Horrible. Josh, let's just be honest. If you're going to get a win against Stephen Thompson, what's the way to do it? On the feet? No,
I agree.
It is trying to get him down, force him into the cage, get him into clinch situations, take away those tools that he is so good with, because he has got a plethora of techniques that he is outstanding with. His kicks. This is a guy that can kick and punch on the same side and have power. That is unusual. That's not something that people have. And when you're looking at it, Kevin Holland is not known as a great wrestler. Wrestling is probably his weakest aspect coming into an MMA fight. He's got good stand-up.
Probably.
He's got good stand-up. He's got a good submission game, but the wrestling is definitely that weak link, and there have been very good wrestlers that cannot get Stephen Thompson to the ground, or it takes a lot out of them to finally get him there. I don't think that this is a great matchup for Kevin. I think this is a very tough fight for him to win. Yes, he's younger. He's not going to be much faster, if he is at all. And it's the movement of Stephen Thompson, the bladed stance that he takes, the way that he uses that footwork to come in and get himself back out. This is a tough fight for Kevin Holland, in my opinion.
Dave, can you pull up the height difference?
Hardly going to be any at all. Probably an
6
inch.
foot. Kevin 6'3".
Yep.
3 inches.
Hardly going to be any. That last I checked, that's a lot. 3 inches is a lot.
In the stand-up? Come on.
He to get his leg. Now I know he can get his leg up there. Stephen Thompson get his leg up there. I'm simply saying the amount of time it's going to take to get there, and that Kevin Holland is going to be the faster fighter. He is, and I love Stephen Thompson. You know, we've had him on the show. We both really, really like him, and he's a great guy, man. I did that Ranger 15 with him. It was fun.
You'll never get that right, man. Isn't that Range 18?
It's 13, I think.
Range
13 or 15. I think
range
it's
15?
15.
Range 15.
I think it's range
Okay.
15.
Maybe it's range 15.
So I did get it right then. I did.
You
get it
probably
right.
did.
I said range 15.
You just never get it right because you always come up with all these different numbers.
Yeah, it's a bunch of different numbers. And I sometimes always think it's Ranger 15. I don't know what
Well,
it
it could
is.
be a Ranger.
He's slowed down. The bottom line is he's slowed down. And I think in this fight, and this is a 5-round fight, I think Kevin Holland will have the gas tank to really put it on, start turning it on in rounds, I'd say halfway through the three quarters away into the third, fourth, and fifth. Those championship rounds, he's going to start to be able to touch Steven a little bit more. That reach, that speed. Now, I'm not saying that he needs to make it a full stand-up fight. I think he will threaten a takedown or two here and there. He'll try to get over the top of Steven on his neck. He'll try to make it more of a dog fight, get him into the clinch, try to knee him, try to foot sweep him, try to do all those little things, trip him down, use his height to his advantage. We know that Steven's not going to try to take him down. So you're going to look at Kevin Holland, try to get into the clinch, try to make it dirty and grimy with some elbows, some knees, some trips, some press against the fence, try to kind of hang on him, use his body size, but then that will slow Steven down a little bit, even more than he already is with his age. And I think that's when Kevin will start to run away with this fight. I do think it is a dangerous fight for Kevin, but I think the age does play a big factor in this, John.
Okay, let me ask. I'm gonna give you two things that I want you to consider. Okay, two things, very simple. How many fighters has Stephen Thompson fought that is similar to Kevin Holland? Quite a few.
Really?
How many fighters have Kevin Holland fought that are similar to Stephen Thompson?
No, no one's really similar to Stephen Thompson. You got MVP,
Bingo.
You got Stephen Thompson.
So there's one guy that he can
guy.
bring into his camp that can emulate a lot of what Stephen Thompson does. That's a guy named Ray Daniels, right? Okay, so then let's take a look at the second part. This fight is not at the Las Vegas Apex Center, okay, the UFC's Apex Center in Las Vegas, which is a 25-foot ring. This fight is in Orlando, Florida, where it's going to be a 30-foot ring, which only gives Stephen Thompson much more room to work like he likes to work and use his footwork. This is a big-time advantage for Stephen Thompson with this fight taking place where it is.
Dave, pull up Stephen Thompson's record.
You're going to try to show me that he lost his last fight. Do you want me to show you Kevin Holland's last fight too?
No.
Okay.
But yeah. So he lost to Bilal Muhammad decision.
Yes, decision.
Lost to Gilbert Burns decision.
Now,
Okay.
can Bilal Muhammad wrestle?
Yeah, he can wrestle.
Can he wrestle better than Kevin Holland?
Yes, he can.
Okay.
Yes. Gilbert Burns, he lost to decision. Very impressive, though, by the way. Jeff Neal, he lost. He won in decision. Vicente Luque, he won by unanimous decision. He lost to Anthony Pettis.
Yeah.
Okay.
He ran into a punch.
Yeah. My thought, though, is, John, is that the reach is going to get there. He's going to have a hard time dealing with that reach. And he will, and Kevin Holland will be the faster fighter. So and also Kevin Holland is also coming down, sure, to 170. But he only fought, one fight at 170, and then he fought at 180. So he really has only had one fight. He is used to dealing with big guys. He's used to dealing with bigger guys.
I agree.
Than Stephen
I agree
Thompson.
with that. I agree with you there.
I think he understands the remedy on how to trap him against the fence, hold him, either drag him down or try to trip him and get him down, or just get him in the clinch to take away his weapons. Stephen Thompson's not a great fighter in the clinch. He's good. But Kevin Holland's not wonderful either, by the way.
Okay, I was just kind of, and I'm taking nothing away from Kevin Holland.
No.
I'm just looking style for style. Mm-hmm. Kevin Holland is dealing with somebody that is unique in the way he approaches the fight, is unique in the skill set that he brings to the fight, and you have to face it to understand the problems that the style of Stephen Thompson can create. Where Stephen Thompson comes into this fight, he's fought people that are similar to
Who?
Kevin
Point
Holland.
him out. There's his list right there.
Okay,
Who is similar to Kevin Holland?
Well, let's. You're talking about his stand up. Is Jeff Neal? Hold on. Is Jeff Neal not a more dangerous person on his feet than Kevin Holland?
Got more power, yes,
He's more dangerous.
but he's shorter.
Is Vicente Luque not a more dangerous person on his feet than Kevin Holland?
But shorter and slower. Am I right? Am I right or am I wrong?
I'm not saying height-wise. I can't help things there. Darren Till is a guy I would say is probably the tallest guy.
Yeah, probably
in all of those. That I could say. But you take a look. It's and you take a look at that fight. Against Darren Till. A lot of people would have said that they thought Stephen Thompson won that fight. But
I look at Darren Till's the only guy on here that is remotely close to Kevin Holland. In terms of stylistically a little bit, the speed, the inside leg kick, outside leg kicks, the fast hands, all of that. But then what's his name is Kevin Holland's longer. And he probably is going to be a little bit faster or equal to Darren Till. I would say Darren Till would be the closest. Okay. And that's it. But I look at that fight, but he's also, since that was when? 2018. I do the math. I can't. But he's been removed quite a bit
4
from
years.
There. Whatever. He's been removed quite a bit from there, and that's a lot older. And John, at 36, 37,
it does make a difference.
It does make a difference.
It does.
I just noticed a huge difference in myself and when I talk with Frankie, I talk with BJ, I talk to other fighters that have been there. They noticed that 35, 36, 37 is when the change started to happen, but we all thought we still had a little left in the gas tank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of where Steven's at right now. And no matter how much we like him as a fighter, I have to be a realist. I look at Steven's going to have to deal with somebody like a John Jones when he fought Gus the first time. He's not used to having to deal with someone who can reach him from further away. None of these guys can reach him from further away because of the way that he fights. Kevin Holland can. That's where I think the speed and the reach is going to be a big factor. It's going to be easier to hit Steven than Steven thinks, even when he's throwing his kicks. That's where I felt like.
It's going to be an interesting fight. I'd really look, and I think that the problems that Kevin Holland's got to overcome are a lot in this fight. We'll see.
Either way, it should shape up to be a good fight. I think the whole fight ends up on the feet, though. I don't know how much Kevin gets him to the ground because he's not going to be an easy takedown. And that's the thing. I don't think he...
Unless he hurts him, he can hurt him with a shot and put him down.
I don't think he wastes a ton of energy trying to get it to the ground, though, either.
I don't think he does either.
So,
we're going to see.
This is what makes this sport so fun, though, John. Neither one of us knows shit about what's going to happen on Saturday night.
The co-main event of this evening is RDA going against Brian Barberena. I love Brian Barberena as a fighter. This is a guy that just comes to fight. Brian had a great last fight against Robbie Lawler. He ended up taking Robbie out of the fight. RDA, we all know, been the champ. He's a stud. Not too sure about the size here because, man, it's going to be a big size difference as far as the two guys. But RDA's got the great grappling. Brian Barberena is just a brawling maniac who just keeps on coming after you.
If I'm RDA, why am I taking this fight?
I don't know. I'm being honest.
I don't understand. Did he see something in the Robbie Lawler fight he thought he could exploit? I mean, I know that Robbie's got good boxing. He moves his head real well. He is getting older though. Yep. RDA is getting older as well, but RDA's got vicious leg kicks when he gets after him and then throws the combinations behind it. That's what he does really well. He throws the hands, finishes with the kick, or he starts with the kick and then comes back with the hands. He's a fantastic fighter when it comes to mixing up his stand-up. I don't know if this is going to be one of those fights where you want to stand and trade with Barberena toe-to-toe, knowing that you're the smaller guy.
He does not want to stand and trade with him. That's what, in the end, that's what got Robbie into trouble is, look, there's one thing that Brian Barberena has proven. He is durable. We talk about guys that are good at being the hammer, but not good at being the nail. Look at Brian Barberena can be the nail for most of the fight and still come back and put it on you and be the hammer. The guy has no quit. He has been in some fantastic battles, just wars with guy. His fight with Vicente Luque is one of my favorites. Just an incredible display of heart by both guys. I look at this fight and I think that size is going to be a problem in the end for RDA unless he takes that size away. Yeah. And the real way for him to take that size away is get in and take this fight to the ground. Be in the top position. Don't let him be able to push you around and use that weight and hang on you at times. Make sure that he's carrying your weight. Look, we know that RDA has got a good ground game. He is very good at just basing out and creating a solid base where you can't get him off you, and he does damage. I look at that. He's going to have to go towards that. It's just 3 rounds. Man, Brian Barberena is a dog, and he's going to be in it for 3 rounds.
If he can still, I think if RDA can still a takedown or two and be able to control the top position or control the back or the side control or half guard, whatever it is, and do a little bit of work from the top, he might be able to steal a round, maybe 2, but he's going to have to fight on the feet, especially in that first round when Barberena is fresh. It's not going to be easy to take down. So he's got to be very smart about this fight. He must have seen something in some of the videos, seeing that Barberena maybe overextends on shots, maybe overcommits on things, just walks forward too much, and maybe thinks he's going to be easier
At times he's right.
to take down.
But
so he is.
But Josh, this is like, and I know you've been there, and I've been there. You've been in that damn fucking bar fight that starts, and you hit a guy with the best shot you can hit him with, and he just looks at you and goes, and keeps coming forward, and you go, oh shit, you know?
Yeah.
That's Brian Barberena.
That's usually
That's
when
what
I
he
turn
does.
Usually when I turn to my buddy Trevor Prangley, hey, you got this guy? He's, I got him, buddy. Yo, Prangley, I need some backup. Okay.
Whew. This is a good fight. It's going to be fun. All right. Next one, we got Matt Schnell. Fantastic as far as the stand-up game against Matthias Nicolau. Very good all around, good ground game. This is another good matchup. I'm really impressed by the fights on this card. There really are some good matchups.
Well, they're trying to cram them all in because there's fighters that ain't used
end of the year, baby,
and you have to offer them 3 fights a year. So you got to give them to them. And that's why these end of the year cards are usually really good because they've got to fit these contracted fighters in for their allotted fights. You have to offer them, and then that's what we're blessed with right now. There's a lot of good names on here. Maybe they're not top 5, top 8, whatever it is, but they're in the mix of terms of they're fun fights.
Oh, yeah.
These are going to be fun fights. Yeah, Schnell's good. How do you say his last name? Nicolau? He's good. Very talented. But look, for me, the fight that I'm looking forward to is Ty.
Yeah,
I want to see how he comes back. I'm a Tuivasa fan, man.
I'm worried about
I'm a
that
shoey,
one,
baby. I'm a shoey.
I don't blame you for being a shoey lover because Tai Tuivasa is a fantastic, fun fighter. But, man, he is up against Pavlich. I mean, this dude's a stud. Sergey is a solid boxer with good technique, and he's big and strong. Now, that we've watched Ty go against that exact kind of fighter before, as far as, you know, someone that you look at and you go, he's got a lot of power and stuff. This guy's got technique, too. He's not just that brawler. And Tuivasa is tricky at times. He's gotten so much better as far as just technique, and he's moving his head off the center line a whole lot more. He better be doing it throughout the fight because Sergey is going to be laying the wood to him if he doesn't.
Well, I look at this fight, like you said, Sergey's got good boxing, but will Sergey try to get a takedown or two to mix it up against Tai Tuivasa? I don't think he will. I think he's going to stand and trade. But in that, John, what got to Tai Tuivasa against Cyril Gane was the push kicks.
Yeah.
That opened up everything else. I don't think that Ty needs to worry about that right now in this fight. This fight is going to be boxing versus boxing, maybe an occasional threat down attempt or like a press to the fence, you know, try to hang on you, try to get you down that way.
Yeah,
that type of stuff to
he's
slow
also
you down.
very good at delivering elbows when he gets in tight in the clinch. So,
Sergey?
No, Tuivasa.
And so what I'm saying with Ty, he's good in that dirty boxing, that Randy Couture style, like hold the head, uppercuts, elbows. He's good in those areas. He's a dog fighter. So I think if I'm going to lean one way, it would be towards Ty. But my hitch on this whole thing, John, this is kind of a quick turnaround after you just got knocked out.
That's one of the
what
things
scares
that,
me.
Yes, I agree with you completely. I would have liked to have seen him have more time away before coming back because you just never know when it's that point where now you get touched again with a shot that you would have been able to make it through if you had not been damaged earlier on, but you can't make it through it based upon you didn't have enough time away because you know he's taking shots in training, and that's never a good thing. But we're going to find out. But, man, it's a great heavyweight matchup.
Well, John, he took a lot in that fight with Cyril. He delivered a lot of big shots. I mean, he sat Cyril Gane to his ass.
Yep.
But let's remember, he took a lot of shots, especially towards that ending sequence.
Yeah.
He was taking some big shots. A lot of them to the gut with the push kick, you know, and those. But he still took some big shots to the head.
He took a lot of damage.
This quick turnaround has me a little concerned.
Yeah.
But if I'm gonna go fighter for fighter in terms of if he's 100% and he was able to take, his brain was able to get rid of the cobwebs, I'm gonna go with Ty, because Ty has been in there against those best guys, has been in the exchanges back and forth. And if Sergey doesn't fight smart, he could be in trouble.
Pull up Sergey Pavlovich's record real quick. Because if you take a look, you see that guy on top.
Yeah, Derek Lewis.
Yup, and look at the time that it took him to get rid of Derek. Now, Derek and Ty had a fight also, and Ty came out on top in that one. But you could take a look. There are some really good fighters in here that this guy has fought. He's good. He is a solid fighter. And it's going to be tough.
I'm not going to argue that. I'm not arguing that, but I look at Derek Lewis also, John. He's on a skid right now.
Yeah.
He's having some issues. I don't know what it is in terms of, but he's just not fighting to his potential like he was early, or people have just figured him out.
Yeah.
They've really just learned, like, when I get you hurt, I could put you away if I just keep pressuring you. And that's, where we're at right now. I think that Ty is at a different stage right now in terms of he knows that he's only a fight, maybe 2 away from being mentioned back into that title talk. So I think he's going to come back motivated and ready to go.
All right, we're going to see.
Next. Ooh,
you see?
Yep, Hermanson versus Dolidze. How do you say his name?
Dolidze,
yeah.
Dolidze.
That's going to be a good fight. But, with Roman Dolidze, we were thinking that every time we see him go in there,
his stand-up looked great last time.
Yeah, he looks real stiff, just muscles on muscle, and just all the bear hair everywhere. Just got hair all over his chest. I never had that. So, but then you got Hermanson. Just very kind of clean, good wrestler, good on the feet. He'll go ahead and mix it up. He'll do whatever he can to get the fight to the ground. But I think strength is going to be a huge factor. Dolidze seems like he's a strong, very strong individual. And when people get in on him, it seems like almost it hurts them more than it hurts him. Like when you get in someone deep on someone like that is just muscular, it just hurts. It just, this is not pleasant to wrestle with. And I get that feeling that a lot of people, when they try to shoot on him, that's the feeling they get, and they just kind of back out. And then he starts touching them with his hands, and he puts them out, or he just puts it on them.
Yeah. I look at this fight. Hermanson has become much more comfortable in the stand-up, and he's much more proficient lately. I look at these guys as far as in the stand-up, I give the power to Roman. I think he's got the heavier shot, but I think Hermanson actually is probably smoother in the stand-up now, even though Dolidze has really come up. Wrestling, you got to give to Dolidze. Submission game, you got to give to Hermanson. So they both have their strong suits. It's what makes it a really interesting fight. Eric Anders taking on Kyle Dawkins. Another good fight, man. Kyle Dawkins is a guy that, he's got that strange, body look, a little bit, awkward looking. Some bitch is strong. He's fast. He's agile. And he's going to have to be against a guy that has got all those attributes, who's an athlete and a half in Eric Anders. Strong, fast, agile. But you got to look and say, overall, the wrestling, the submission game, where does it go? I think it goes to Dawkins.
Yeah, and look, I'm gonna go with Dawkins only based on the fact that Anders will slow down midway through the second round. He'll start throwing 2 shots, where Kyle Dawkins will fight. He'll throw combinations. He'll throw it in bunches. He'll mix it up from the hands to the feet. He may even try to get this fight to the ground and put weight on him from the top position, do some work, and then back out, let him back up. Eric Anders he's a fantastic athlete, but he's proven several times that he has a hard time pushing through when he gets tired. His arms get heavy, his kicks get labored, and just things don't come out as fluidly as they do in the first 2.5, 3 minutes of the first round. So if Kyle Dawkins can get past that first 3-4 minutes of that first round.
Got to get past the first round with him.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Dawkins.
Okay. Same here. Mm-hmm. All right, Nico Price against Philip Rowe. I love Nico Price. He is fun. He's just a dog. He's crazy in the cage. This is a good matchup because they're both guys that are very good at the stand-up, but I think Nico Price has got a more dominant ground game than Philip Rowe.
I would agree with you, but John, I'm more looking at the Angela Hill and Emily Ducote fight. Emily Ducote used to be with Bellator. We know her very well. She came over to the UFC. Her first fight, was it her first fight? She just only had the one fight, correct?
No, she's had 2 now, I believe.
Is it 2 now?
I could be wrong.
Can you pull that up?
Take a look real quick.
I remember her first one in. She had a great performance. She has 2. No, just one.
Just one again.
Yeah, so
okay.
against Jessica Penne. She had a great performance against Jessica Penne. And she did some good work, man. And I think Angela Hill is coming in going, you beat my teammate, you beat someone that I'm close with, you beat someone I'm really close with, and I'm going to get that back for her. And so she's going to come out a little motivated. She's going to come out, throw some heavy heat with the hands. Emily is a very good fighter, but she's very stiff and comes very forward. She doesn't fight it doesn't seem like she can make the adjustments during the round. Whereas Angela Hill will fight this fight anywhere. She'll obviously want to keep it on the feet, but she'll get it to the ground. She'll come back up off the ground and then mix it back up on the ground, and she'll throw some more strikes. Emily's good on the ground. Emily's good on the feet. She's gotten better on the feet. I just look at the speed and the reach of Angela Hill and then her aggressiveness. Angela, if you look at her record, John, she's losing those good fights by split decisions, and sometimes she shouldn't have lost.
Yep.
There's some fights you're like, how did you lose that fight? Like, the judges either got it wrong or it was just so close. I get it, but there's a lot of fights on her record that she shouldn't have lost, that she didn't get the nod on. So this is gonna be a good fight, and I think Angela Hill's gonna come in a little bit more motivated because she beat Jessica.
I think you might be right. Here's my grinder fight of the night. You look at 2 guys, both of them grinders, in Clay Guida against Scotty Hot Sauce Holtzman. This is a great matchup. I really like this one. Both coming with a wrestling background, but are completely different MMA fighters now. Both have solid stand-up games as far as they use it to get into their wrestling. The question is, can Clay Guida get Scotty Holtzman down and get him down without burning a ton of energy in trying to get him there? This is, like I said, this is my grinder fight of the night.
Yeah, I'm going to look at the other fight next to it, though, John. Michael Johnson and Mark Diakese. How do you say his last name? Diakese?
Diakese.
Diakese? Yeah. So, but this fight's going to be a fun fight. But I think Mark's going to try to get... It's going to be a stand-up battle, but Diakese also he's been working on his wrestling. He's been getting better at the takedowns.
Yes,
he's getting good at getting the takedowns and controlling the top position. But
Michael Johnson used to be a wrestler.
Man. Yeah, I can wrestle.
Yeah.
And people overlook that. I saw him. He came out to San Jose for the Train Alta program. It was signing some autographs and stuff. So I had a chance to chat with him. And he was already looking real fit back then when he came out. And he was talking about how Mark's kind of started changing his game. He's like, I'm expecting him to try to wrestle with me. I'm expecting him to go ahead and let the hands go and let the kicks go. But I'm expecting him to wrestle. He thinks that my wrestling's not good anymore because I'm getting older. He's like, nah, man. He's like, I still wrestle every single day with all those guys at Kill Cliff. They can wrestle. You got Logan Storley. You've got all those guys that are all there. He's like, I get into it, mix it up with all of them all the time. He's like, this guy ain't taking me down. He's like, you ain't getting to my hips. So this to me is going to be a fun fight.
Yeah, this is a good one. All right, Darren Elkins, speaking of a guy that's fun to watch, Mr. Damage. Darren Elkins against Jonathan Pierce. This is going to be another good fight. You take a look, man. The entire card is fun to watch. Before that, you got Tracy Cortez against Amanda Hebus. That's a great fight. This card is fantastic overall. Looking
John,
at what?
It's a looker fight.
It's a looker fight. That's
it's a looker fight.
It is a looker fight.
And it's a good fight. That's the thing.
Is.
This is a big step up in competition for Tracy.
Yes, it is.
This is a big step up for her. Amanda Hebus is a fucking savage. She's gonna come forward. She's gonna try to put it on her. And Tracy, she's gonna take a lump to give a lump, and she's gonna try to get on her and just hang on her and try to get the takedowns, try to get to the top position, try to mix it up on the feet. But that's a fun fight.
Absolutely.
Scroll down a little bit more there, Dave. John, like we talked about, this card's stacked.
It is.
Now, like I said, maybe none of these fighters are top 5, top 10. But when I'm talking about matchups,
and it's also the matching of them.
Yes, exactly. It really comes down to the matching of it all. All right, guys. Well, hey, that's going to wrap up our UFC talk. And now we're going to jump into, some boxing.
Tyson Fury coming back again, going up against Derek Chisora. 12 rounds.
I thought he
for
retired.
Fury's linear. What? Yeah, he
thought
retired.
Tyson Fury
He
retired.
retired for a week.
Unretired. That
Look at
management.
Fury. It's funny because Fury is still the champion of only one title, the WBC, which you look and you go, okay, that's ridiculous. Now, I'm not saying anything, taking anything from Usyk. Usyk is fantastic. I love him. But these two guys, they got to fight. You can't sit there and hold titles off on this. Oh, we're not going to fight him. Or we're not going to fight him. Tyson Fury is the best. And when you say lineal champion, he's the best there is in the heavyweights.
Yeah.
Usyk is number 2. Those two got to fight.
Yeah.
This is where sometimes you look at boxing and you go, you're blowing it, son.
Yeah. I think there's a big gap, too, between number 1 and number 2. And nothing against Usyk. I think he's a very talented fighter. I think it's just because of the size.
Yeah, he's not real big comparatively.
It's the size. That's the biggest thing, I think, for me. And I think when you looked at the Anthony Joshua situation, Anthony was also bigger than him. But
a lot bigger.
But just the way the styles of fighting match up, it's not a good match. It was not a good matchup for Anthony Joshua against Usyk with the speed in which he got inside. Now, none of us foresaw that coming into that first fight. But then as we saw it all unfold in front of us, we're like, oh, I get it. He moves his head real well. Yeah, moves his head real well. He counters really well. He comes in and closes the distance really well. He was making it really rough by using his speed and not focusing so much on the power of trying to get him out of there.
No,
he was focusing on the speed of the hands and just touching him, frustrating him. But when you put him against someone like Tyson Fury, if you were to put Usyk against Tyson Fury, it's just the size would be a huge factor, the reach and all of those things would be a huge factor. And he can box. His footwork, all of those things is really good. So, like for me, the fight that I'd like to see is Andy Ruiz. I'd like to see Andy
against
Ruiz?
Usyk or who?
Against Usyk. Usyk. Well, what's Tyson Fury's talking about Andy's next.
Oh, poor Andy.
Yeah, they talking about
like
that Andy's
Andy.
next. I like Andy a lot.
I don't want to see Andy against Tyson.
I like him. I do.
Don't. I'll tell you what. There's a whole lot of different fights coming up, but there is one. It's down the way. It's in 2023. You got Tim Costa Zuz against Jermel Charlo. The Charlo brothers are fantastic. So
interesting.
That's going to be an interesting fight.
Is this Costa Zuz nephew, son, family, relative? Do we know?
We don't know.
Okay.
I'd like to know.
Dave, can you look it up? Tim Zhu. Is that Costa Zhu's son, nephew, cousin, long distance relative, brother?
Has nothing to do with him?
Let's see.
Tim Zhu. Is it Costa Zhu's relative? It looks like him if that's him. That looks like Costa Zhu a little bit.
Costa Zhu right there.
I was like, okay. Okay. I was like, that looks like him. Oh shit. I was like, yeah, they are related, but no, that is Costa Zhu. It was a small, you guys, if you guys are at home listening to us, it was a small little picture.
It was
like
a small picture.
And so with my bad eyes, I was like, that looks like Costa Zhu right there. Just type in.
See if it's like if it shows
is Tim.
relative.
Just type in Tim Zhu related to Costa Zhu. I would just type it in. Is Tim Zhu versus is related to? You spelled Zhu Z-O-O. Really?
Well, how the hell would I know if I don't know who they are?
He still spelled it wrong.
That's so great.
My God.
I wonder if
where the hell were you educated?
Yeah.
His dad Costa will be with him at work.
Yes, it is his son.
See,
that's his son. Wow,
that's pretty interesting.
That's a big fight, man. Charlo, he must. I've never seen him fight. I've never seen him box, so he must be good.
Well, I can guarantee you, Charlo is.
Okay.
Well, you guys know that's January.
That's way down the
January
way.
20. That's January 20.
2023.
But then you have Terrence Crawford versus David. How do you say his last name? Avanyasanyan? I don't even know. But then that's the card that Chris Cyborg's on.
That's right. Yep.
So she's on that card you were talking about. So that's December 10th in Omaha. Omaha.
Poor Avancian.
Avancian. Okay.
Avancian. David
you say
Avancian, good fighter.
Okay.
Just not in Terrence Crawford's
But
category.
not. There's not many that are.
Errol
You have,
Spence.
like,
The
that's
one
it.
fight that needs
That's
to take
all.
place, man.
John, that's the problem. It's going to continue to be the problem with boxing. Everyone
Yes.
talks about the money. Everyone talks about the money. But how much should we be talking about the fact that we never get to see the fights we want to see them? We never see them. And when we do get to see them, right? And the fight's a good fight.
Years later.
How long does it take years later to make the rematch? Huh? These are all things that are just huge issues in boxing. All for the money? I mean, from a fan's perspective, we never really get to see the fights that we want to watch. All right, next. What else you got for us, Dave?
All right, let's hop into some goings on in the MMA community.
Goings on.
Get some reactions here. This first one is making the rounds. We talked about Conor McGregor the other day, but now Artem Lobov is supposedly suing him around the whole Proper 12 thing. I will point out that Artem Lobov is releasing a book, and he talks about how the main story in his book is about how he came up with Proper 12. So, is this just a kind of ploy to get book sales? Perhaps. But the story being that he came up with the whole Proper 12 thing. He presented it to Conor. Conor supposedly, according to Artem Lobov, offered him $1 million for the proposal. Artem said no. He just wants to kind of be that good guy who helps out. But now turns around and is suing him for millions of the shares that Conor sold for. In addition to that, Connor's now making comments about Artem on Twitter. So the comment reads, this is a call out to Artem the Fanny, Fairy Pad Lobov. I'm challenging you to a fight tonight, 10:30 p.m. I'll meet you down at SBG Concord and we'll fight for the whole lot. Going through having lawyers messaging me about defamation and all this suing and all. You're a little fairy, you're a little blouse, mate. I'll see you at SBG Concord tonight, 10:30 p.m. and I'll fight you for the whole lot. Yeah? Answer this fucking call out. Yeah, you little blouse.
Wow.
I guess blouse is a bad word.
Well, it's derogatory.
Where I
live, it's a woman's shirt.
Yeah.
Right. And so, picture Artem as a woman's shirt, John.
Oh, okay.
You're right
Good
there.
Good point. It's got little fluffies on it.
What I thought was the best out of all this, though, was that Nate Diaz also tweeted, so is Artem going to show up to the big fight or what? It's just doesn't even care. Just like, hey, what's up, bro? Who did Artem show up? How many people are sitting home kind of not laughing at Artem, but just laughing over the situation that, this whole thing with Khabib started by him Conor flying all the way to Vegas to throw the dolly through the
New
truck
York.
or the window.
New York.
Yeah, New York. Sorry. To New York to throw the dolly through the bus window. And then they had the fight and everything like that. But I mean, that was all with the Artem situation. And then now Artem's turning around and suing him. I don't know the details on the whiskey thing, on how it all came about. Dave gave us a quick little rundown, but I mean, if he offered him $1 million, just take the $1 million. I don't get it, man.
I'm being honest. This is the way I look at it. First off, when I first saw Conor and Artem, look, they were friends and they were training partners, and Conor took care of Artem. Conor got, if you recall, when they were doing the Tough, when Conor was a coach and it was Uriah Faber on the other side. I want to see. He did. Artem lost. I can't remember who he lost to, but we were doing the fights and he lost to whoever it was. So he lost his chance to be in the house, and it was because of Conor they actually brought him back. You just take a look.
It was Ryan Hall. Didn't he lose to Ryan Hall?
No,
was
it
that in
wasn't
the
Ryan
finals?
Hall that he lost.
That
to
was
him.
the Ultimate Fighter.
That was the final.
That was the finale.
No, it wasn't this. It wasn't an
no.
official fight then, was it?
Well,
No,
yeah,
it's not
it
an
wasn't an
official
official fight. It was a Ultimate Fighter to get into the house thing. I can't remember who he lost to, but he lost. But look, it's a shame. I know Artem was always, backing Conor and everything he did. All I can say about Conor is, look, I'm not saying that you owe him money. I don't know anything about that or anything, but don't put this stuff on Twitter, dude.
Yeah.
You're better than that. If you don't want to talk to him anymore, it's too bad. I think your friendship is worth more than all this, but don't put it out on Twitter.
I mean, he lives on Twitter. He lives on social media, John.
I know, and it's crazy. The guy doesn't have to.
Be, man. I know, but he does, and it's what he's turned into. So it is what it is. I mean, I don't know what I'm not suggesting what he does with his money. I don't give a shit.
No,
congrats
it's his
to him
money.
on all the success. Yeah, and with Artem, it's rough to see not rough, but it's like one of those things when you see them kind of imploding from the inside. You see your friends betraying you, but turning on you, and you guys now are not friends. Now they're suing you.
Yep.
There's more to the story than what's being let out. There's a lot more to the story. Whether it's you took my girl or it could be anything. It could be a bunch of stuff.
I don't know. I just look at it. It's too bad that because both these guys they cared about each other, and to see it split like that, and especially over, I hate to say it, over money, it ain't worth it. But
isn't it always over money though, John?
Dude,
it's always
evil.
something to do with. It's always something to do with money. If it ain't that, it's a girl. It's a side piece. They're all arguing over side pieces.
I'm going with this one isn't over the side piece.
Next.
All right, let's move on to this next story here. Sorry, I've got you guys paused while I'm just reading through. So here we go. Paddy Pimblett is talking about Jake Paul's fights being fixed. Now Jake Paul responds and says that he wants to spar with Paddy, and if he beats Paddy in sparring, I don't know what technically constitutes winning in sparring. If Paddy beats Jake, Paddy gets $1 million. But Jake is obviously pushing for this whole Unified Fighters Association thing, whatever it's called. So Jake's saying, if I win, you got to join this Fighters Association thing.
Okay. Well, let's just put it this way. I would rather talk about Paddy Pimblett going up to his neighbor's ring and trying to clean up his dog poop. Shat all over the yard. I thought that. Paddy was fantastic in that thing.
I thought that was great.
It was
great.
For Jake to call out a guy, I guess sometimes Paddy's up in the 200-pound range. So, but you're calling out a lightweight to spar? Come on.
This is the youngest guy he's ever called out.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. This guy's younger than him, isn't it? Or close. So
look, I'm not definitely not going to say his fights are fixed because he's fought T Wood the way the
his
fight
fights
ended,
are not fixed,
and the way he fought Anderson, their fights are not fixed.
No.
That being
that can
said,
fight.
He's taking the Floyd Mayweather approach. They're handpicked. They're towards the end of their career.
Yes.
Or they're suffering losses. Whatever it is. That's what he's doing. He's doing the Floyd Mayweather approach, and it's working for him because people keep buying into this bullshit. Like they bought into Floyd's. Floyd is a fantastic fighter. He was always a fantastic fighter, but he never fought anybody when they were in their prime. That's just a fact. Give me somebody he fought when they were in their prime. I know Canelo wasn't in his prime, but he was on his way up. He was young. He was very young.
He was young comparatively to be in his prime.
Would you say
Arturo Gatti was close to being in his prime, but he was actually tailor made for Floyd.
Yeah, his style was
just
Zab Judah, was he kind of Zab
was right.
I would say Zab was a dangerous fighter.
That was a good opponent
cardio
for him. Yeah.
Zab slowed down, and Floyd knew that if he got him past the 5th, 6th round, he could start picking him apart. You know what? I take that back. Ricky Hatton. He fought Ricky Hatton when he was in his prime.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he fought Ricky Hatton when he was in his prime. Yep. So I take that back. All right, next.
Next story.
Ricky Fatton is what they were called.
Not anymore, man. He looks good.
No, on the offseason, we just call him Ricky Fatton. He's going to be back up to 200 here shortly.
Yeah.
Next.
So the BKFC president is talking about he's doing a partnership with Triller, and it's going public in December or January. He's saying he's going to have the funding to be able to get anybody and everybody, and he's saying that's what he's aiming for, is anybody, everybody, and Nate Diaz is his kind of main talking point right now. He wants Nate Diaz in BKFC.
That would possibly be the worst move Nate Diaz could ever make.
Well,
no,
John,
go ahead.
If they offered Nate Diaz 10, 15 million, he doesn't have to worry whether he wins or loses. He would just fight. I mean, obviously, I know Nate. He's that dog. He's gonna want to win.
Yeah,
because there's the potential of getting an even bigger paycheck after that. He's gonna want to win. Nate's a winner. He's somebody that wants to always win. He always tries 100%. He's not quitting for shit. These knuckleheads that own these two organizations, they may try to do something like that. They may try to pitch out that much money. But who are you going to have him fight?
That's the question. And the here's your problem. And I love Nate Diaz, but he's got a ton of scar tissue around his eyes, on the bridge of his nose. And you take a look and you go, all it's going to take is one shot to open that up. And it's not that he lost the fight, but he loses it because of the cut. I mean, it's just not looking at Nate in this situation. You're looking and saying, hey, you can do whatever you want for the money, but it's not a technically smart move in going to something that can have an effect of opening up all of that, damage that you've received over the years, the scar tissue that's there. It only takes a small shot with, bone on bone. It's going to open up, and then you're in trouble.
But if you're an investor, you're thinking the same thing. Like, you get cut, I'm out my money for one round.
Yeah.
It's like I'm out all that, but you get paid. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what he decides. He has made, whoever this guy is, has definitely made it public on Twitter. I saw it a couple times saying we are making a big pitch for Nate Diaz. Now, my question, like I said, will always go back to, who are you going to fight? Jake Paul is with Showtime. He's off. Who else is out there that he could fight? Give me somebody.
I mean, that's in bare knuckle boxing right now?
No, I mean, like, if somebody has a free agent that he could fight. I mean, like, anybody. Like, there's not a sign with the UFC that would make it interesting. I mean, I don't know. KSI? I mean, does he have a manager, an agent? I don't even know. I don't know these guys and what they have.
First off, KSI is not fighting bare knuckles, so.
Hey, how about Dylan Dennis? All right, I'm glad we both laughed at that.
Okay.
All
right. On to the next.
All right. Next story here. Let me just confirm which one this is. Oh yeah. So, John, interested in hear your thoughts on this. So there was some.
Does this have Ali in it? Because Ali loves me.
Yeah. This is to do with the PFL fight between Kayla and Larissa Pacheco. Her manager, Alex Davis, is commenting about this video that's out where Ali was giving Kayla corner advice during the round 1 minute round break.
Okay.
And Alex had approached Ali and said, I think his name Alex Davis. Yeah, he had approached
Alex Davis. I know him.
He'd approached Ali and said, "Hey, stop talking to her," because not only was he shouting across to Kayla, but his claim is that Larissa couldn't hear instructions because he was yelling, so she couldn't hear her own coaches. And so he said to Ali, go get out of here. You're not here to corner her, and go get out of here. And then he tells the commission. The commission tells Ali, get back to your seat. And Ali says, go fuck yourself. And then his claim is that Ali is basically cheating, and the commission needs to step in and stop this because that's an unfair advantage to his fighter, and that managers aren't supposed to be doing this. They're supposed to be managing their athletes.
I'll tell you right now that Ali's not going to like John even more after John says what he's going to say. I can tell you that right now. Go ahead, John.
First off, I'm going to be honest as far as Ali can be in that arena and be saying what he wants as much as he wants. There's nothing. I love Alex Davis. He's a great guy, great manager of fighters and everything like that. But Ali can be yelling stuff during the break between rounds. If he's in the corner, it's different. He can't be yelling across to the opponent or anything like that. Then the commission can step in. And so I don't know the exact position of where they were at and anything. I'm seeing like a picture of Ali in a suit, and he's standing up, but he can yell like any fan can yell across. They're not going to be able to do anything about that. If he's part of the corner, now they can do something about it. He's licensed. Go ahead.
I think what they're saying is that he's walking up to the cage where they were cornering and yelling across the cage. So as a fan, most fans have to stay in their seats, or they can stand up, but they can't go up to the cage or the ring apron and start yelling across the cage. And it seems like that's kind of where he was at.
Yeah, it looks like he's moving around during the fight.
Yeah.
As I'm seeing the fight going on, and he's trying to bark out instructions there and everything. And look at Kayla. He manages Kayla, and so he's trying to give her advice and stuff. But no, he cannot move around to where she is.
Yeah.
They could tell him, hey, where's your seat? Go sit in your seat.
Yeah.
But
it's also like, dude, you don't think Kayla knows what the hell she's doing better than a fight manager?
No.
I mean, when but to answer your question though, Dave, is that like fighters, we have corners because even though we know what we're doing, we need to be reminded of situations while it's going on. Hey, don't forget to use your elbows, because sometimes we get carried away just punching. Like use your elbows, look for cuts, whatever it is, bringing you up to the middle.
Then let's ask you this. Would you rather have Mike Brown, who's in your corner as your trainer, barking out what you should be doing, or should it be your manager?
Yes, but what you're missing here though, John, is that
I'm not missing anything here.
She's on the other side, so he's yelling actually from Larissa's corner. This is where Ali is standing.
I know.
I get what you're saying. I get it. I get what you're saying, but like from the other side, sometimes you don't hear your corner from the other side, especially when your opponent's corner is yelling out orders to her. So you can't always hear. So Ali's trying to yell over them.
Let's just be honest.
It's a game that's been played for a long time. John.
Let's just be honest. Okay. Let's take a look at this and be as honest as you can be about this entire situation. Ali started with who? The World Series of Fighting, right? Was he not their matchmaker while he was a manager?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
So he was their matchmaker, and then got into a little bit of trouble with some of the, conflicts of interest that are associated with all of that. And so, but he still has a freebie with the PFL. He gets to go where he wants and do what he wants and stuff. And so he's used to having that freedom. He's going to take, use it to his advantage as much as he can. I understand what Alex Davis is saying, and he's right. He shouldn't be able to move around where he wants to bark out instructions, and he definitely shouldn't be able to do it through the corner of Larissa Pacheco while Kayla is over in that corner. Yeah,
I agree. It is what it is.
Yep.
Until the commission says something to him or fines him or does whatever, then people will continue to do it. Not just
and
him.
just say it now. Ali now hates me even more. Oh my God.
But John, this has been a game that's been played forever.
Sure.
I remember when King of the Cage was at Indian casinos, and I would be on one side and Bob Cook would be on the other, and we would yell across instructions.
Don't give. You're bringing in King of the Cage at Indian Casino, so you're saying Saboba Casino is where they were at, okay? And where was your regulation? Oh, there wasn't any. And so whatever you did there, that's fine. This is the state of New York with the New York State Athletic Commission, and that's what Alex Davis is complaining about, that you allowed this to happen. It should never have happened. So
they're new to the MMA game. Give them kind of some slack.
I'm not
the New York Commission. The
New York Commission's got some great people associated with it. It really does. And so it could be that, they sent an inspector over there and you saw him going back. It's like most of the time they're not going to kick somebody out. They're going to tell you go back to your seat.
Yeah. Next.
All right, next story here. Wonderboy is not talking about retirement, but said that everybody is talking about he should retire, but he's not interested. He's just having fun. He talked about his last 2 fights, how he was basically just laid on, but he is interested in exciting fights right now. He's not interested in retiring, and he just wants to have fun and test himself. What do you guys think about that?
I'm 100% for it. As long as he's happy with what he's doing and happy with his the fights that he's getting and enjoying himself and feeling that he can be competitive, go.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is when fighters start taking a lot of knockouts is when we start talking about it's time to hang it up. But he's not taking knockouts. He's getting decisioned.
Yep.
He lost the fight to Pettis, but that was the one time he was knocked out. The rest of the time he's getting decisioned by people taking him down, grinding him out, whatever it is. He still has a lot left in the tank. I get it. And I'm not trying to push him into retirement at all. I'm simply saying that when I matched him up, when we talked the UFC talk, when I matched him up against Kevin Holland, I think the height, the reach, the speed, and the explosiveness, along with the age, will play a factor, especially as this gets into a 5-round fight. Just speaking from experience, the age played a factor around that same age. 37, 38, 39 is when he started feeling it. He's at that age, 37, 38, somewhere in there. That's where I think if you want to keep fighting and you're not taking a ton of damage, which he very rarely does, fuck, have at it, man. Collect that check. If I could have done it, I would have fought longer, to be honest. But I just didn't like taking the damage that I was taking. And that's a big deal. That was a big deal to me. Is I wanted to be able to still try and put whatever words together as I could. As you guys can tell, I have a hard time with
that shit didn't work.
That didn't work. Yeah. Well, if I had a rep that could see headbutts, I mean, shit, I'd probably still be able to talk.
You could blame, you could blame things on anybody you want, but you know what? Blah, blah,
blah, blah. In a couple of weeks, I'll sound like the fucking teacher from Charlie Brown.
No
All
one
right,
knows
next.
what that is. The siege doesn't know what that is. All right, we'll wrap up on this one. So, Islam's coach Javier Mendez is saying that he doesn't believe Islam should have been placed at number 2 in our pound for pound rankings in the UFC. He thinks it's too early. I'd love to know you guys' thoughts on this.
For me, when you look at it, right, the ones that were ranked ahead of him were now got beat, so that's why they dropped. And now you're going to put your champion up there ahead. So you have Volk, you've got Islam, you've got Leon. Those are the champions, and they beat the guys that were ranked ahead. I'm surprised that Pereira isn't up higher, to be honest. And I would have Francis probably up above Kamaru Usman, only based on because Kamaru lost. That's it. And I'm not saying that those guys still don't deserve to be up there. They do. But it just, the weird circumstances, Kamaru loses by knockout. Izzy loses by knockout. Those guys were up at the top, and Volk is still there. So where were you going to put them? That's the way I look at it. I mean, and you could probably interchange Leon and Islam. I ain't having a problem with that. And I'd probably have maybe even Francis right up there with maybe past Islam or right behind Islam. I don't care how you put them. But all of them are on their first title defenses.
First off,
yes.
let's just be honest. It doesn't mean a goddamn thing.
It doesn't mean shit.
Okay, it doesn't mean anything. And look, Javier Mendez is looking at this like, hey, I believe my guy is going to be there at number 1 eventually, but I don't want you to put so much pressure on him right away after one fight, one defense. That now you're throwing him up there that he's number 2. Why are you doing that to him? Because it's just added pressure, and it is added pressure. No doubt about it, because guys take a look at this. But in the end, none of this matters.
You know what I don't get, John, when I'm looking at their pound-for-pound rankings, is that Pereira, with what, 5-6 fights, beats Izzy?
7 fights, yeah.
7 fights,
but
beats Izzy.
He's below Izzy.
But he's below Izzy, that's one. 2 is, but Kamaru Usman was up there, and Leon was just 1 ahead of him. But then Pereira's 2 behind Izzy after he just beat him. The rankings, they just don't make sense. They just don't make sense at all.
Well, if you're going to be honest, Aljamain Sterling is at 9.
Exactly, and Aljo should be higher.
Hell yes, he should.
Should be way higher. I don't understand how you have the pound for pound rankings, and then you don't have your champions 1 through whatever, however many titles there are. I don't know the rules either, so just don't judge me.
I don't think
So
there's no rules as far as
You should
pound for
have,
pound.
but no, but I'm saying I don't know the rules of the sport either, so don't judge me. I don't know how many weight classes there are. So there's, I don't know how you don't have your champions as the pound for pound, and then you have the ones that are number 1, number 2 ranked behind them. I don't get it. I don't understand. You don't have that. Kamaru Usman had 14 fight win streak, and
don't you look at it like, okay, you could have a guy who is the pound for pound. We'll say Volkanovski. He's 145.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now there could be a stud at 145. We'll say Max Holloway, who is just tearing it up, and he's actually better than the champion in a different weight division. Possible.
Yeah, that's going to happen. That's going to be quite common when you're talking about the lighter weight classes, because all those fighters are better than the heavier weight class guys.
Unless they fought and then they get smashed.
No, but I agree
No,
with you.
they
But
get
then look,
smashed.
they're just better fighters.
No, they get smashed.
Really?
Really?
Interesting.
Okay, all right. So Islam is going to...
Islam's going to beat whoever's at 170.
No, Islam's going to beat Francis Ngannou.
No, but I'm saying you're
Exactly.
going to go up
That's
one
my
weight
point.
class. Go
This
up
is my
one
point.
weight class.
I
Go
understand.
up,
I know how good
John.
Islam is. Size matters.
He,
It does. You can sit there and say whatever you want. No, they're better fighters. Nope.
you're killing me.
When it comes down to them actually facing off, guess who's going to win? The bigger guy.
Look, if we ran around the cage for a second, Francis would get tired. And
We're not going to run around the cage.
Islam would win. As soon as that fight hits the ground, Islam's taking his arm.
Oh, Jesus.
No. Look, my point is that Islam deserves to be up in that top mix. I just don't understand how you don't have Aljo higher up there. I don't get that
Aljo
part.
should be higher. No doubt about it.
And then how is he still ranked ahead of Alex when Kamaru lost to Leon, and Leon's ranked ahead of him? I'm confused on how this is all working. And you got Charles right in the middle there, but you don't have your other champions like Aljo and Alex above Charles, who just lost the title.
I know.
It's a little bit of a cluster right now, but they'll sort it all out. We'll sort it all out. We'll see. John Jones all the way down there at number 13. But as soon as he wins that heavyweight title, he'll be back up at like number 2 or number 1.
Uh-huh.
But then my question is this then. John, if Islam beats Volk, does he go to number 1?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Yes.
If John Jones beats Curtis Blades for the title and not Francis, does he go to number 1?
I don't think
John Jones got the longest winning streak in the game.
I think he should.
I
think he should.
That's where I'm at. I'm like, does he go to number 1?
Very rarely will you see a guy that's the heavyweight be number 1, pound for pound. Because why do you have a pound for pound?
Oh, beat the heavyweight at number.
Very rarely will you ever see a heavyweight at number 1 in pound for pound. Because why do you have the pound for pound list? It's because exactly what I was just joking about. There's a reason why weight wins. Okay, it's hard to move that weight. If you're Volkanovski and you're fighting Francis Ngannou, is not Volkanovski a great fighter? He can't deal with the size difference and the weight difference. There's too much. The power difference is too much. So very rarely do you see the heavyweight being the number 1 pound for pound, because the reason for the pound for pound is to sit there and give acknowledgement to Islam Makhachev at 155 or Volkanovski at 145, saying, pound for pound, you match these guys up. These guys are the best fighters in the world.
But John, you could consider to be the best fighter.
Yes, you could.
And he'd be the
Yes, you
legit
could.
best fighter. Now, I mean, I'd like
Yes,
to see
you
him
could.
fight Francis to get the title legitly that way versus fighting Curtis Blades. But it does pitch for an argument that John not really ever having a real loss on his record. You know what I mean? You could say that he is the pound for pound. So Islam his stay would be probably short-lived at the top if he does beat Volk.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Next, or is that it? No, we have one more, Dave. We have one more. What's the one that I sent you about the title between the tweet that was sent with PFL and Kayla Harrison? And I always like to leave on a very negative note. So let's continue this. I sent you the tweet.
Here, I can pull it up. You want me to pull it up?
Oh, I sent it to John. Sorry, I didn't send it to you. I sent it to John.
PFL?
Yeah, so the guy's name, I don't know who it is.
Don
the guy
Davis.
Don Davis. Does he run the PFL or is he part of the PFL? Or he says the offer still stands.
He does. Here you go. The offer stands. Kayla H versus Chris Cyborg. $1 million each fighter, plus $2 million to the winner. Additional tip: winner choice of a Rolls Royce. Biggest cash purse in history for female MMA fight. No more hiding. Decide the best in the cage. PFL MMA pay-per-view super fight. Hashtag Kayla Cyborg. Well, the problem here is, Mr. Davis, you are disrespecting your new champion. Your PFL lightweight tournament winner just beat Kayla Harrison, and you're trying to put Kayla in a fight with Chris Cyborg, and you're being crazy, man. Don't disrespect your champion. Kayla just lost. I love Kayla, and I think she's a fantastic fighter, but if you're going to say you want Cyborg to fight someone at this moment, you should be trying to put her against Pacheco.
That's a fun fight.
That's a great fight. They both stand up and bang. That's a great fight. But
yeah,
I don't know.
It's a little strange.
What's strange?
That he would offer a fight saying, the best pound,
that's crazy,
pound for pound, but yet your pound for pound just lost to somebody.
Yeah, well, so and you're saying who's the best? We're going to find out who's the best. What about the person that just beat her you have a contract with?
Interesting.
I mean, sometimes you take a look at people involved in promotions and you go, you're not using your noodle.
Yep.
But
hey, Dave, can you pull up that? Okay, so go to Weighing In Podcast. Weighing In Podcast. Is it Weighing In Podcast merch?
No, Weighing In merch.
Weighing In merch. There we go.
WeighingInMerch.com.
Hold on, John. I'm texting Dave.
Boy,
this is us in a nutshell.
Yes, this is us in real life, though. By the way, Weighing In merch. Look, I really like this design with the flag. I like that one as well. And John, why didn't we ever think of the "Let's Get It On"?
Because I try to stay far away from it.
Do you?
Yeah, I
thought it was good though. I think it's good.
I've never
been a big skulls person, but I actually kind of like the design he did.
Yeah, I like the design.
I like the bring back of our old logo, and I also what I really love is the old logo on a black shirt with just the white the small little white one off to the side.
Yeah,
I really like that.
You like that because you know what it is and stuff, but people have to see the logo.
Yeah, I really like that, man. Like, it's simple. I'd like to put something, Dave. Maybe we can have something put on the bottom there. It says podcast, like looped around it. You understand what I'm saying? Like from the bottom.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay,
We'll leave it at that.
Good.
Hold on.
Good.
He understands what you're saying and is saying, "Fuck off."
Nah. So we had talked earlier about a VPN that John and I both use. Go to NordVPN.
You get 4 months free. That's what you need to know. Boom.
What you have to remember is this: for a lot of you guys that are in other countries that Bellator is not available, this is a good way for you guys to tune in to watch Bellator. You guys can go ahead and watch whatever that is available in that country. So if you use the VPN and register it towards that country, you can go ahead and watch Bellator from there. That'll be a good idea for you guys.
Boom.
And be safe about it. Be secure about it. So go ahead and use that NordVPN. Tell them we sent you. And John, take us away.
Tell them we sent you and you love what they do and what we do. And we, the Weighing In Podcast, even Podcast Dave, being the guy who is always causing problems, will say, see ya.